What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer, taking a look at this Blue-Eyes Synchron deck, and when I was making this video, I was like, I'll like tidy up the list a little bit and I'll send it out. And I was like, let me just get a couple gameplay videos. I like to throw them in at the end so people can get a good look at the deck. And I ended up playing the best duel I've ever played, or the most fun duel I've ever played in my Yu-Gi-Oh career, or whatever you want to call it, since I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So my opponent's playing Rescue Ace, which is like a pretty good deck, although I think he does mess up pretty badly here in terms of his combo. Because I don't know, I guess it depends on if the Fountain is a warrior. But in any case, like, he's got a 4K wall like just sitting there, which is a bit unfortunate. But a great card is Dictator of D, because it's a free special summon. You're not using your normal summon, and you get to use like a card like Synchro Overtake, or like this card becomes so much better. On your market set, duel only works if it's the like first card you activate. It can't have anything else on the field. So first of all, I made a misplay right here. I should have used this card and searched something, but it's okay. I'm gonna be able to maybe play around it or like make the best of the situation. Oh, it's a machine. Okay, so maybe this was the best that he could do on his first turn. But okay, so Dictator D is a free special. You just have to send Blue-Eyes from your hand or deck, thank goodness. And then you can send a Blue-Eyes card from your hand to reborn a Blue-Eyes from your graveyard. So that's great. I was pretty much bringing it out to maybe force out some of his interruption. But I can go ahead and go into Baron. Like, the Blue-Eyes monsters being level 8s are actually really convenient, because it helps you go into 9s and 10s very easily. And it's so good. Like, Jet Dragon, of course, is just fantastic. Anytime a card is destroyed, it special summons itself back. And as you might imagine, in a grind game, also when it attacks, it bounces something to the hand. This card, it's not even have to bounce the card that you're attacking. It's literally any card on the field. Jet Dragon, unironically, an incredible card. Also, I don't think you can't target anything on the field but it, and that's going to come up in this duel a lot. And there you go, Synchro Overtake with the Blue-Eyes. Like, I made all these plays again because of Blue-Eyes. It's kind of incredible, but okay. So I'm going to go ahead and bring out 3 from the deck. Synchro can help me grab here. Things are a little bit weird because I can't go through my normal lines of play, because I think I need to have the 2 on board, and that's just not possible right now. Because I want to be able to use, and ideally, Stardust Illumination. I want to be able to, use the effect to bring out the Stardust Trail. But I can't, because I did have to go into the 2 early Assault Synchron to make Baron. But I was able to destroy a card. Maybe I should have destroyed HQ, although I think he's just going to get it back somehow. There's a graveyard effect I wasn't really aware of. Yeah, it was the trap. So that's kind of unfortunate. I don't really have another way to pop something again. So I guess that was kind of a waste, but he did have to expend the resource, so I don't know. It is what it is, to be honest with you. Going into Hot Red, you can do a lot of cool things in this deck because you can get access to the Synchro 9 plays. And again, like, that's because of Blue-Eyes. This card's very, very good, right? It's just like an Omni Negate on top of a 3200 attack body, which of course is pretty decent. Okay, so Stardust Trail, right, can trigger. I can keep bringing things back, and there I can go into Despotter, bringing back the trail, and then I can normal summon. After all of that, I did not normal summon, by the way, which is pretty incredible. Really, I win from anything. Like, as long as this isn't specifically one of the level 4 Rescue Aces that activates when a monster goes, and when a monster activates his effect, like, I win. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So I am going to go ahead and negate that, and I can switch that out. I think I did use the Baron negate, and a cool, like, if you can set it up, and I kind of did this wrong, this is probably another misplay, probably something I could have brought back that was just a little bit better. Although I'm looking at it, and nothing too fantastic. I mean, Jet Dragon can bring itself back anyway, so it would kind of feel like a waste. Yeah, maybe that was the best play, because I do have a big Synchro on board. And if I do Synchro summon with it, and like I get to the next turn and I can make that monster unaffected. So I don't think it was the worst play in the world, but let's see what happens here. This is a big body. This spotter is such a good card, but I'm holding on to the side frame now, like I'm waiting for the right opportunity, and obviously I do. I think in the beginning I activated Hot Red to stop this. Maybe that was a misplay, and I should have held on to it for this, but he is going to control the Jet Dragon, and all these are going to activate, and I'm kind of like running down on resources, but Hot Red's able to basically, negate out every single form of interruption that he has. So that's a good thing, and I don't think it lasts forever either. I can go ahead and bring back the Stardust. Every card is so good, like in this deck. You know, I want to get over the Jet Dragon. Unfortunately, I can't attack with this, but you know, Jet Dragon's back in my control again. This can't be targeted, but it can be negated and destroyed. The field spell's just kind of okay. I mean, it does like really pop up in this, but as long as you can negate, you know, the one that sets 4, like you're in a good spot. And look how crazy this is. Like this duel's gotten absolutely out of hand. The battle phase hasn't been like too relevant so far. We all have 5 bodies on board. This is just like a weird setup. And this is where like the slightest misplays can make big differences, of course. You know, I can go in for the synchro play here. Like that's kind of decent. But I think he, you know, goes ahead and switches that down. I think he thought he could, you know, target one of these, but no, Jet Dragon is absolutely insane. It's like infinitely recurable. Dispotter, again, being 3,500 is huge. And he is going to go ahead and get rid of that, which is going to trigger Jet Dragon. But I am in a weird spot. I think I do. The top deck is pretty good. I'm pretty sure I do have another Jet Synchron I can bring out. So I can go into like a Synchro 9. Stardust was like brought back from the banish pile, and yeah, these cards that you use for synchro overtake actually come in handy. Again, this is the wildest duel I've ever seen. So when it's synchro summon, you get to target a card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So, you know, I'm going to send something back, so he can't really use, I think I don't know, see, again, putting that back to the hand I guess didn't really do anything because he's going to have to special summon it. But yeah, maybe that was just a misplay. I think maybe, no, that doesn't really do anything either. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that was the play. It's interesting. Like, there's just everything on the field does everything. But, you know, I'm going to be able to have normal summon the Junt Synchron. Getting the, you know, the 2 back in rotation, which is huge. So there goes Baron. This actually has a special summon effect. I can level manipulate and go into Psyframe, hoping I can, you know, snipe something good. It is the one, you know, that I put back to the hand. So that did work out in a sense. It was like maybe my best out to the card. And then I can go ahead and bring that back. Now, I did do this wrong. I should not have brought back the hot red, and it's just I'm like 20 cards into the in the graveyard. That's very rare that you even get to a duel that far when no cards have milled. Right? This is like literally I've expended this many resources. But I should have brought back Dispotter because the only card I'm really worried about is Turbulence. Although I think he can like get to the Book of Moon, I would have to force it there. So I guess the only way I go for Turbulence is through this line alone. And I have to hope that I survive, but I do have Jet Dragon in the graveyard, right? He's not going to be able to set 4. He does get to search, but like look how many cards. He's like kind of getting low. He can shuffle them back, which I guess is a good thing. So I don't know. I just think that there's no, like I instantly lose for sure if he gets this effect off. I think it also has some sort of battle phase effect too. He does Book of Moon this. It does have 2,500 defense. So that's okay. You know, it definitely helps. Jet, you know, can go ahead and bounce that back to the hand. So this is, I am going to survive the churn. I think I have like 2,000 life points left. And I think he makes a big mistake. He's going to go ahead and normal summon there. Turbulence is a big dude. I mean, I know this becomes 33, but if I'm able to get rid of the field spell, it's way easier for me to attack over this, especially because Jet Dragon is in the graveyard, which is going to be like really, really important here. You know, he does Book of Moon this, but I can just like flip it, so that didn't really do anything. You know, I'm going to go ahead, use Jet Dragon's effect, send tuning from my hand. You know, that way I can bring back the Jet Synchron, so I can go and attack into this. Luckily, I had enough life points. And of course, when a monster is destroyed by battle, that's going to trigger the Jet, so I can go ahead and start making some more plays here. I'm going to go ahead and bounce the field spell back to the hand, although I should have attacked into this. You know, this card is not good. He does put it in defense mode, so it did work out. I top deck Ash, and I'm like, you know, the fact that his you know, his field spells in his hand is good. So now I have a card for that. I have to worry about it less. I did make a misplay here. I should have attacked over it. I thought I could bounce back and then continue the attack. So again, another misplay there. But so that's unfortunate, right? And I thought, you know, this was going to be the mistake that would, you know, lose me the duel. But then I thought, you know, he's got to be pretty low in monster counts for sure. I don't know how many of these you're playing, and I don't know how many left are like, I don't know. You know, I think that he would definitely, you know, if he got the field spell off, I lose, I think. At least getting the extra draw, being able to shuffle all of his resources back, that would have been pretty rough. So yeah, I should have attacked over and then, you know, done that, but it did get bounced to the hand. I'm going to go ahead and snipe it, so It is what it is. I know he has the field spell, and I was worried he was going to get the field spell, that I was going to snipe it because I wanted to use the Ash on there. And he does normal summon the Ash Blossom, and then he scoops. Like, wow. Like, what a duel. I don't even really know what happened. I'm sure I could watch it back 50 times and still think of like 20,000 different things I could have done differently. And I'm sure he was probably the exact same way. But it's such a random deck. It's so good. I'll show one other replay. Was kind of interesting. And then I'll show the deck profile. If that doesn't get you a little bit excited about it, then I don't know what does. Seeing Stardust Trail is like bad, and then seeing 3 back row is like even worse. I think I finally get a brain this time, and I do activate Ready, Set, Go first, so that's a good thing. You know, that's going to trigger hard, but that's fine. Stardust Trail is the same in the hand and the graveyard in terms of its special summon effect. I can go ahead and use tuning. I was trying to basically bait some things out. Melody did trigger, so, and then also the Crush card comes down. Stardust Trail can be used to go in for the junk, so that's pretty good. Like, I am going to get Stardust in rotation, but yeah, he did have the Imperm last, so that's a bit unfortunate, but you know, I can go into the Stardust here. That's going to trigger, so I can go into Baron. Baron's going to go ahead and pop. I did not use the effect, and this is really important and worth mentioning. I was going to mention it during the deck profile, but this is a perfect example. The first time you use Baron with Excel, if you can, this is a very good interaction at the very least. You know, don't do it. You know, try to bring something back. That way, you know, you can switch it out. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, Baron uses this negate, so it's useless, you know, during your opponent's turn. But if you can, you know, switch it out, Stardust comes back, and then you can then do the quick Syncro and then go into another one that is unaffected. And that can come up, obviously, a lot for the Synchro 9s. And sometimes if you can put a Synchro 2 on the board, too, that can also come up. Because ideally, almost every time, Excel Synchron is going to bring back the level 2. I forget the name. The Synchron level 2. I don't think it's in my graveyard right now. But this when it gets 2 counters, you get to draw 2 cards. And that's kind of cool, I guess. But it was like pretty interesting that he had all that interruption. And I was still able to break his board. And Blue-Eyes actually, again, had a part in doing that. Because Blue-Eyes, at the very least, no matter what you can say, especially alternative, is either a 3K body or a monster pop on the board. And that can come up a lot when it comes to breaking things because, you know, not every monster on the board is going to have a big attack. And, you know, it can help you do things without using your normal summon, things like that. Is it a great deck? No, but as you can see, like, you can do some pretty cool and fun things with it. But yeah, this is a deck profile. It's a little bit funky, but this is the list I used for those 2 duels, completely unchanged. 2 Ash and 2 Effect Veiler. The only reason I do run those, and again, this is pretty gimmicky, so you don't have like really enough going second cards to be super good. It's always preferred to go second, but I do use these ones because the best play starter, the 1 card play starter in the deck, Junk Converter, does require you to discard a tuner, not a card, specifically a tuner. And these are tuner hand traps, and you don't really want to have blank cards in your hand, right? If this was Imperm and you had this in your hand going first, that Imperm ain't doing nothing. You know, you want to be able to play, so that's why I do that. Only 1 copy of Blue-Eyes White Dragon in alternative. You always want to search them in tandem together with Melody of Awakening Dragon. That way you don't use your normal summon, and then hopefully you have a card like On Your Mark, Get Set, Go as well. That way you can kind of start your plays. You always want to search Jet Synchron. That way, you know, you can special summon alternative, normal summon Jet Synchron, go into whatever Synchro 9, and then you're like off to the races from there, because Jet Synchron can then search you Junk Converter. You haven't used it, you know, or, you know, if you have your normal summon still, you know, things like that. In an ideal scenario, like Synchro Overtake is almost always better. That way, the Jet Synchron, you don't use your normal summon on it. But yeah, that's just interaction that's worth noting. You know, Ready, Set, Go can also search you Synchron Carrier, and that's super important because it's the only Synchron that's not a tuner, and you definitely need that every once in a while. Okay, so, you know, Blue-Eyes alternative, I just talked about that. Blue-Eyes Jet Dragon was like the MVP of that extremely long duel. 3 copies of Stardust Synchron. It is unfortunate, but you do need it for the combo. I didn't show the main combo line. You can look at my other video. I'll probably link it in the description, but, you know, Excel Synchron has to send Stardust specifically because it has to send a level 4. So if you open one, then you would be special summoning one, obviously, off of the Junk Speeder, and then you wouldn't have one to send. So you kind of have to do it. It is what it is, and sometimes it's good to see in your hand. It's a free special summon. Dictator D obviously is insanely good in this deck because it is a free special summon. It works super duper well with Synchro Overtake, and yeah, it's obviously very, very good. 1 copy of Stardust Trail. It's been unfortunate to see in your hand. But it is what it is. You can kind of work around it sometimes. You saw that in one of the duels. One copy of Junk Synchron. It's obviously something you search off a Junk Converter. It's not good. Like, you've never played at 3. It's a total fallacy. It's not something that you should do. 2 copies of Revolution Synchron. You can't special summon from the hand. So, like, you pretty much need to run 2 copies because you need it for Junk Speeder 100%. Excel Synchron is nice. You can play it at 1 because it does have the free special summon from hand. Like, it literally is just free. So, you don't have to run multiple copies. Versus this card, which can. Junk Converter, I've been talking about. It's the 1 card play starter. It's incredible. Synchron Carrier is that one of. That can be searched off of on your market set duel. 2 copies of Whitestone, so it's really good discard fodder for pretty much anything. It's a tuner as well, and it gets you Jet Synchron, or the Jet Dragon at the end phase if you are able to discard it. So it's okay. And then 2 copies of Jet Synchron. Again, it's not terrible to see in your opening, but it's just another one of those where you have to play 2 at least because, you know, if you open one, you got to have another one ready for Junk Speeder. And it has come up too, where I've normal summoned it plenty of times. Stardust Illuminations, a card you search. It's been unfortunate to see. It's not the end of the world. It's just searchable. You'd rather search it. 3 copies of Synchro Overtake. 2 copies of Tuning. Although Tuning, to be honest with you, like, I think you could take these out and like run the Rocket package, but it is kind of hard to fit in there, so I do play Tuning in this deck. I don't know. It is what it is, to be honest with you. Like, this isn't the best list in the world, so maybe you take out Tuning, and it doesn't really hurt anybody. 3 copies of On Your Market Set Duel. It's like mostly used to search Carrier, but it can be used to search, you know, some of your other guys. It can be good, you know, Ash bait sometimes. But again, this is like another candidate. I think if you wanted to run 3 quick launch, and then the 2 rocket monsters, the level 1, which is a Synchron, and then the level 4, I think that'd be extremely valid, if not better. But then you wouldn't have the Synchron Carrier line, and that's where it gets kind of muddy. So that's just something that you'd have to do, like, as you kind of, you know, go along. But these are definitely like 5 of the cards that I feel like are the most iffy in the deck profile. 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon, just that, you know, free special summon. Called by the Graves, combo deck. And then Reinforcement of the Army. You need to see Junk Converter as much as humanly possible. Onto the extra deck is Crimson Dragon, Despotter, the Bestial Despotter. Monster Negate brings things back. It's truly incredible. Baron is just insanely like overpowered, to be completely honest with you. Hot Red Archfiend Abyss is an incredible card. You can go into Synchronize, and you can cheat out Synchronize in this deck. Azure Eyes, you know, Blue-Eyes Spirit. You know, these are cool. I kind of like this card, and it's like pretty easy to go into later in your combos. I think it just, like, you know, if you're playing Blue-Eyes, you don't want to like go so far away where it's like you're not even playing Blue-Eyes anymore. So I do like to include this package, but I guess it's one of the openings. If you wanted to change it, you could. But it is like, this is the Synchronize that you can really go into, you know, and that can help you go into Hot Red Archfiend, or it can also help you cheat out Blue-Eyes Spirit. It's cool because Blue-Eyes Spirit has a negate, and also it can switch itself out into Crimson Dragon to go into another 10. So it's like, it's kind of 2 interruptions, and it's like a unique thing that obviously only you can do in this Blue-Eyes deck. You just have to make sure, by the way, that you don't start with this, because it doesn't let you special summon more than once at a time, and Junk Speeder obviously does that. So just be careful. Croco Dragon, I actually have like come to like really enjoy. It's another one of those really good 9s that you can go into. Helps you draw cards, helps you destroy cards as a quick effect as well. The Psyframe Lord Omega, this card's gonna get banned again, 100%. Like, it's definitely gonna get banned. Junk Destroyer is like one of those Synchro Overtakes, but it's also just like a good card, and it won me that insane duel. Like, if I wasn't playing Synchro Overtake, would never play these cards, and I never would have won that duel. So it's pretty cool. Excel Synchron Stardust is one of my favorite monsters in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! Stardust Dragon, gotta get a Ghost Rare of that someday. Stardust Charge Warrior, it's a draw card, although I'm always nervous. Like, I almost don't ever use the draw effect because I don't want to draw a trail. Like, I can just see it. And I know it's like unlikely, but it's still very possible. So sometimes I think about replacing the 6 as in like a going second card, and it might actually just like be better to do that. I don't know. Definitely something worth looking into. Jet Warrior, Junk Speeder, the MVP of the deck. This card's absolutely amazing. So fun. Very cool. And then Excel Synchron, which is just part of the combo. But yeah, that is a good look at Blue-Eyes Synchron. It's surprisingly really fun. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Other than that, that's going to do it for today's video, and I will see you guys next time.